Hello, my fellow Americans and foreign intelligence officials. My name is John George. I go by the name Johnny Ameru Ryan, or Johnny Firewalk, or Thoth, or Hermes Trismegistus. Those are old names. These are all old names. And the reason I am qualified to be making these videos and be an expert in the field of ufology and extraterrestrials is because I have been dealing with them daily for months and overall for decades. I'm 40 years old. I grew up in Hampton, New Hampshire, which is about 10 minutes from Exeter, New Hampshire, where the infamous Exeter incident happened. And I guess I'll start there. So, I had a mentor when I was in school for massage therapy, and he was one of the highest respected massage therapists and manual therapists. Physical therapy, chiropractors, massage. He was just one of the best of the best. And I was lucky enough to be chosen by him to be his student. And I'm not sure he'd ever taken on a student before, but for a year I met with him for about 3 hours a week, and he gave me homework every week. And for the first probably 6 months or so, it was all body work related and physical science, the topic of study. And then gradually he introduced me in much more detail than I previously had knowledge of into consciousness, the nature of consciousness. And during that time we were studying consciousness, he started adding in things that were kind of on the cosmic cycle, the cycle of the universe, the Mayan calendar, and not just one view on any of these things, but several experts, the experts of the experts. And that led into the study of extraterrestrials to some degree. And I found that quite interesting. My background was more into the spirituality, a very passionate and long search for God and the divine, and an understanding and relationship with God that was not bigger than anyone else's religion, but bigger than the church that I personally attended, or really any religion. Those were someone else's experience, and I wanted to have that relationship myself with God. So that was where I began, and that led into the occult, and that's a longer story for later on. So as he introduced me to the extraterrestrial and the different races and species of extraterrestrials, and the idea of the foreign consciousness, something that was outside of ourselves, he kind of had the belief that everyone was connected, that whole global mind thing. And to some extent, on like a quantum energy level, it's true that we're all, have protons and neutrons jumping out of us, and, waves of energy from each other, from groups of people, from technology, going through us and around us all the time. It's like light pollution in the city. It's like the pollution of energy that is around us all and connects us, because we all live in that. Unless you wear a tinfoil hat, that'll keep it out maybe, if it's like 4 layers thick, I think. But that's not something I'm going to do ever. So when I talk to people on the phone, I walk. I just, I'm a one-on-one person, or I'm on stage. I'm a musician, so if I'm on stage singing, or if I'm presenting to a class on a topic that I'm well versed in, then I don't have a problem being in a group. But when I'm talking to a person, I like to be one-on-one. So I was walking one night in 2008, and I just finished a phone call with somebody regarding studying. We did a lot of studying on the phone, and in the distance on Front Street in Exeter, heading south, in the distance I saw what looked like, I thought, hey, maybe that's a UFO. So I looked at it for maybe 20 seconds, 10 seconds, a minute. And I thought, no, it's not a UFO. And I totally forgot about it. And I continued walking by West Side Drive. And I crossed the street a little bit earlier than I usually do. And when I did so, when I got to the right side of the road, I don't know if I heard it or if I sensed it, or I looked up and there was a UFO directly over the tree line, large, rectangular, and it was sounded like a vacuum cleaner. I describe it as like a muffled vacuum cleaner, or a silenced vacuum cleaner. But it was very light, the noise, but it was very unique. I still remember the sound. So I'm standing there looking up at this UFO, and I have zero thoughts going through my head. I have no awareness of anything else. It's basically like I was hypnotized by the UFO. There was a ship. It was definitely a ship. It stayed perfectly still, and it was, there for me, directly above my head. So it was definitely a ship with anti-gravity abilities and some kind of technology which interacted with me energetically and with my consciousness. And I don't really know what it did or why, but after 10 seconds, 20 seconds, it was probably more like a minute or 2 minutes. This is a kind of a busy road I was on, which is what makes it interesting to me, that's where it chose to meet me. So a couple minutes maybe. Like I said, I was hypnotized. I don't know if I went on board. I've never made the claim that my feet left the ground. I don't know that to be the case, and I'm an honest person, and I think honesty and truth in this field, in this area of interest, is necessary, because there's only one other guy that I know of that has said he'll take a polygraph test regarding his experiences and what he claims his experiences to be. His name was like Tony Toppings, I think. And I was pretty impressed with that mere fact and that open-mindedness that he had towards his own truth, you know. He had been taking notes in a notebook and like documenting every single thing that went on. I put most of my stuff on Facebook, so if you're bored, Johnny Ameru Ryan, JONNY AMERU RYEN. I use photos. I've been fortunate, I guess, maybe lucky enough, maybe it's a blessing, that I'm able to take pictures of extraterrestrials and aliens, and have been doing so quite a bit in the last several months. And yeah, so anyway, just saying, you know, I do have the pictures. Right now I'm using a iPhone, and I can't even pause it, let alone pause it and like edit in a picture to show you. I'm not there yet. I'm just getting the ball rolling, because this is something I need to do, or I feel obligated to do, and not necessarily something I want to do. I mean, I do want to. I do, on some level, sometimes I do want to do this. Alright, back to the story. But I will present the pictures as we go on, and a lot of them are on my Facebook. So I'm looking up at the UFO, and the bottom of it's pitch black, and then all of a sudden it just, I guess it released me, and at the same time the sound changed a little bit, and it went from perfectly still to moving at like a mile or 2 miles an hour down the road.